Hello, welcome to my channel. And in this episode, I'll show you how to create new settlement with the aid of the modding tool. So this is just like the previous video, but in this case, we have the modding tool to help us make it easier. So first, let's create our module folder. Let's copy the module data and the submodule and paste it in our mod folder. Now we don't need all of this, so let's delete it. And then let's edit our submodule. It must match our mod name, and let's delete the submodule here because we don't have any bin files, and let's remove other XML node we don't need. Now let's copy the main map inside scene object, and let's create our own scene object folder. Paste it here and let's activate it in our mod folder, and let's open our modding kit. Let's press Ctrl E. Now in here, let's open the scene in our mod folder, and I will show you that this is not a good idea. So see here that this doesn't have a land, and I don't know what caused it. So let's just edit from the original scene object. Let's open our scene inside the main map of our sandbox. I created a backup just in case we did something wrong. You can just always paste it. Now you see here that this is the main map of the main game. And let's take one settlement as our sample. So in here, let's open settlements XML and let's search for Askar. That is an Aserai village I chose. Since this is from our mod folder, we can just edit anything we want. And let's name it sample town. Let's change the ID so that it won't override the original. And let's also find the original Askar town. Double clicking it will hover it to the top of it, and let's create a copy of this town. Let's duplicate and rename it in inspect. Now after changing it, you can just drag this town. Let's change the filter first, and let's drag this down using G, which is grab. You can also paste it or place it in the map using P, and let's press P here. Now you can see that the land is a little rough here. Let's rotate it using R, and it will, in the circle will appear. You can also press ZXC so that you don't need to hold the circle. Now you can also press T so that you can drag it in X and Y axis. You can also drag it to change the elevation in the Z axis. You can see here that the road is forming when that town is close to the ground. That means the siege icon is also appearing or in parallel to the ground. Now let's close the gap. Let's take a village as our sample. Maybe the one with flags. So this as a sample is an entity that will automatically be in line with the land. Let's change its ID. And let me show you why I choose this village. So you see here that the plaques is aligning with the slope of the ground. So that is also how the siege icon works. But in our XML modding, this is not possible. You can just adjust it if you want it into the top of the hill, but no one want to live in a slope area because it's also dangerous. Now let's just place it here using P, and let's reset the rotation. You can edit 0 here, or you can just press this reset button. Let's adjust it until you are satisfied. Now let's just elevate it a little further. Now maybe this is fine. We can just save it, not save as. It's saved in the original file since we back up it. Now after saving inside the sandbox scene object, we will copy this to our mod folder. It will replace our scene xscene, which is not edited because of the problem. After replacing the file, we will put the original file, the backup one, to our original module, which is the sandbox, so that we won't have any problem in the future. Now, we won't save this now because we have replaced it. Let's just edit our settlements. Let's match the coordinate from the scene object and the settlement. So in here, we can find our created town and one village. If you want to create more than one or more than 10, then you can easily create it like this. But note that you should save you should save your work every town you created, just in case you did something wrong, then you can trace it easily. Now let's temporarily match the gate position to our position of the tower, because we can only take this from the game, the position of the party later. And let's delete the extra. Let's also change this to match our scene object. Take note also that the settlement ID, town ID, village ID should also match with the comp in it. Like this, it has a comp in the middle, and the trade bound and the bound settlement should also match, so that whoever owns this town will also own this village. And this village will support the town, it will feed, it will add food to the town, 15 food I think. I think this is done. We can just leave the edit mode, and since our mode is already activated from the start, you can just go to campaign and see if this didn't crash, then that means our mod is functioning correctly. So it didn't crash, so I will skip the video from here. Now let's search our sample town. This is the Askar copy, so it will look just like that too. And see here that we can pass through it. I don't know yet the solution for this, but for now, let's just, the settlement's coordinate is not matching because I forgot to edit it in the settlement XML. Let's just copy this quickly. Let's paste it here. Also the Y, let's cut it. So this should do the trick. Now about the gate position, the X and Y, you can see here that it is in the middle of the town. Let's adjust it using the arrow keys of our keyboard. You can just place our party here and open the console. This is the console in the modding kit. It is much better, I think, and you can copy directly from here and just paste it, so it's really handy. Let's cut the Y position, and let's save this game so that in our reload it will update. Now let's see if it is good. So I think it's fine. So let's try to siege this town. Let's just take our troop. And let's also declare war with the Aserai. Now we will just siege this, and you see that all the siege icon is present. So modding tool really is a handy one. And this concludes our tutorial. I have a wrong spelling here. So this is just my initial discovery in modding tools. So I will share what I could learn in the future. So subscribe if you haven't, and stay tuned. Thank you for watching.